Hello, everybody. I'm Simon Preston, and welcome back to Reggae Boys Commentary, your platform for everything Jamaican football related. How's everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. We are, you could say, approaching the end of the month of April. So we have May, June. When you analyze things in terms from the Gold Cup standpoint, but of course, we know prior to the Gold Cup, there is the Unity Cup, there is the World Cup qualifiers. So in this video, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about the Gold Cup, and persons have been wondering what Jamaica's record is like against certain oppositions when it comes to the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So that is what exactly we're going to be doing and breaking down in this video in particular. Now remember, in the last five editions of the CONCACAF Gold Cup, Jamaica has been to two finals, two semi-finals, and a quarter-final. That has been the run since the 2015 edition of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Remember, the Gold Cup itself, it began as a competition with eight teams going back in 1991. It expanded to nine teams in 96. Then it went to 10 teams in 1998, right? And then it went to 12 teams in the year 2000. And from 2000 all the way to 2017, it was a 12-team competition. And Jamaica went to the final of the Gold Cup twice when it was a 12-team competition. The tournament expanded to 16 teams in the 2019 edition of the competition, and since 2019 it has been a 16-team competition. I expect it to be a 16-team competition for this foreseeable future, but of course let's see what the future has in store. A 24-team Gold Cup would be compelling because therefore you have six groups, four teams in each group, top two teams from each group alongside the four best third place teams advancing to a round of 16. That would be quite compelling, I must say. So we'll see what lies ahead for the future in terms of the Gold Cup. So with that being said now, have you wondered what Jamaica's record is like against Caribbean teams at the CONCACAF Gold Cup? Well, we're going to go through that in this video in particular. Now, did you know that in Gold Cup history, Jamaica has played eight matches against Caribbean teams? Yes. Jamaica has played against Caribbean teams eight times at the Gold Cup, winning seven matches and drawing one, scoring 21 goals and conceding only three. That has been Jamaica's record in the CONCACAF Gold Cup against Caribbean teams. And if you look at other Caribbean teams that have deep runs within the competitions, of course, we know Jamaica has been to the Gold Cup final twice. Trinidad and Tobago went to the semi-finals in the 2000 edition of the Gold Cup. Guadeloupe, they had an amazing run to the semi-finals in 2007. Remember, they defeated Canada in the group stages. They defeated Honduras in the quarterfinals. They drew with Haiti in the group stages. Remember that? And apart from Jamaica, Trinidad, Guadeloupe, and Haiti, those are the only four Caribbean teams that have actually been to a Gold Cup semi-final. Haiti, of course, 2019, you'd remember, made it to a Gold Cup semi-final. This was the first time that they were at this stage of the competition. A number of the invited teams have had deep runs in the competition as well. You talk about Peru, you talk about Colombia as well, that have had deep runs within this competition. Brazil as well. So Qatar, you know. So that's just information so that you're aware. So the first time that Jamaica actually played a Caribbean team at the Gold Cup, we have to go back to 2011, and we're going to the venue that Jamaica is going to face Guatemala on June 16 this year, and that is in Carson, California. That is right. Jamaica took on Grenada. It was a 4-0 victory. We had Luton Shelton open the scoring for the Jamaicans, followed by Ryan Johnson, and then in the second half it was Demar Phillips, and arguably the greatest goal in Gold Cup history was scored by Omar Daly. Yes, Omar Daly scored for Jamaica in the 84th minute. It was a lovely build-up that he had with Kemar Dada Daly and also Javon Watson, and a wonderful strike indeed from Omar Daly as Jamaica recorded that victory, 4-0 victory, the first time Jamaica taking on a CFU team at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. We progress further now into the 2015 edition of the Gold Cup, where Jamaica took on another Caribbean team. This time it was at the quarterfinal stage where Jamaica took on Haiti in Baltimore. As you know, in the state of Maryland, Jamaica has quite a diaspora population, whether you are in Baltimore, you're in Frederick, you are in Silver Springs, whether you are in Mount Airy, there is a sizable Jamaican community that lies within the state of Maryland. And certainly their voices were heard as Jamaica defeated Haiti by 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Giles Barnes, Adrian Mariappa getting the assist for Jamaica. Why was this game so special? Because it was the first time that in Gold Cup history that Jamaica was winning a quarterfinal game. Yes, Jamaica did go to the semi-finals of the Gold Cup in 1993 and 1998, but remember there was no quarterfinal then. It was just group stage straight to the semi-finals, and that is exactly what happened. So, this was the first time that Jamaica was winning a quarterfinal match in the history of the Gold Cup. It was Giles Barnes with a 1-0 victory. We progress further now into 2017, where Jamaica opened their campaign against Curacao. Yes, we got revenge after the Caribbean Cup and defeated Curacao by 2-0. Romario Williams and Darren Mattox on the score sheet for Jamaica. And this, of course, was the third time we're facing a Caribbean team in Gold Cup history. And as you can see by the result, it was something that was very, very important. 2-0, and it helped us in a long way of having a deep run within the CONCACAF Gold Cup that year. We went on to go to the final again, back-to-back finals. 2019, a special moment, as we know. Jamaica hosted two matches in the Gold Cup, Curacao against El Salvador, and of course Jamaica against Honduras. But we faced one Caribbean team in this tournament. This was Curacao. And if you look at it, this was the first time that we actually conceded against a CFU team in the history of the Caribbean Cup. And it's quite compelling in terms of it. We've 21 goals scored against Caribbean teams and only 3 against. And as you can see, this goal came very, very late in the contest, the last kick of the game. But we had a semi-final run in this competition, and we're very happy that we were able to have this run. 2021, the first time that we faced a Caribbean team twice within the competition. Opened our campaign against Suriname, a 2-0 victory. Shamar Nicholson and Bobby Reid. Oh yeah, by the way, it was Shamar Nicholson with that final touch against Curacao in 2017, or in 2019 rather. But in terms of 2021, Shamar Nicholson and Bobby Reid scoring one of the goals of the tournament as well, a special moment. And then we took on Guadeloupe, and we defeated Guadeloupe by 2-1. Corey Burke and Junior Flemings on the score sheet for Jamaica. Now we go to 2023, where we had a semi-final run in the competition, and we defeated Trinidad and Tobago by 4-1. This was actually Jaime Hallgrimson's first win in charge of Jamaica. Damari Gray on his birthday scored a brace for Jamaica. Leon Bailey scored, and Dujon Whisper Richards became Jamaica's youngest goal scorer in Gold Cup history with that 4-1 victory in St. Louis, Missouri. And as well, to wrap up the group stages of the competition, a 5-0 victory against St. Kitts and Nevis at the Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. There was an own goal. Many thought it was Paris's goal, but it was an own goal by Julian Archibald. John Russell scored for Jamaica before the halftime break, and then in the second half, it was Dishon Bernard, it was Daniel Johnson, and also Corey Burke who got on the score sheet for Jamaica. So that is 21 goals scored and 3 goals against in 8 matches, 7 wins and 1 draw. So, folks, here we go in terms of the Jamaica's record against Caribbean teams at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So you can feel assured about how we have done as we plan to have a very deep run this summer. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. If you guys haven't already, I encourage you to hit the like, share, and subscribe button to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. Okay, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.